refresher of sorts, on Python programming, right? Because many of you are at different levels, right? But majority, as I see, having talked to most of you, I think you need to learn about Python programming, right? Even for people who have learned Python programming, I just want to highlight that we will be covering, aspects of Python programming that are relevant for AI and ML. Okay, so we will start from the basics and cover, all the details, right? And then we get into the core modeling aspect. Okay, so this is what we are going to do. And as Ravi would have explained, and we also covered this, there is also an internship, right? So where you will be doing a project in an area of your choice, right? And it's not like you're going to start the project or start thinking about the project only at the end of it. In fact, even as you come into week 3, week 4, you will start thinking about the project, right? Start developing a data collection plan and go about the process of developing an AI solution, right? So as I said, but we have a separate module in the sense, where we will work with you, to develop the project plan, how you can go about doing the collection of data, how you actually go about developing the solution, right? And validation and testing, right? So as I said, the point I'm trying to make is I'm not viewing this as an entirely separate module. This is related, right? And you will start thinking about your project and we will start thinking about your project right from about 3rd or the 4th week itself, right? So that's what I wanted to tell you, right? So from the 3rd or 4th week, even from now, you can start thinking, what is the area that I want to work on, right? So this is a practical application oriented course. Okay, if you see, there are 3 elements. As I see, many of you are at important crossroads in life, right? You may decide to pursue careers depending on your interest. Essentially, I see there are 3 aspects in this course. If you see, there is a programming element, right? There is a programming element. The second one is there is an application element. That is, how do I apply AI, right? You can either be someone developing software programming, or you can be someone who will make use of AI in your applications, right? Even for that, you need bit of programming, right? But you're not programming heavy. That is the second aspect. The third aspect is there is a mathematics component, right? There is a math component. If you see AI, we will be covering about the math component as well. So depending on your interest, right? Some of you may pursue an application-oriented career, right? You feel that you're going to make use of AI. Some of you may decide that no, I'm interested in the programming aspect, so you're going to focus on the programming. Some of you may say that no, I'm actually very interested in the mathematics part of it, right? So I want to pursue mathematics. So that choice is entirely up to you, okay? But this program will cover all 3 layers: the programming, the application, and also the mathematics behind it. Okay, so so we will be covering all 3 aspects. Okay, I encourage you to look at this course from all 3 aspects, right? The math aspect, the programming aspect, the application aspect. So at the end of the training program, right, so you can make an informed decision, right? Some of you may want to pursue a course, right, related to AI. Some of you can make use of AI, as you go about it, right? So there are different streams, different possibilities that exists, that forms part of AI, right? That makes use of AI, and that's fundamental to AI. So there are 3 aspects, right? The math is the fundamental aspect. Programming is the way we approach AI, right? And the third is, how do I apply AI, right? So there are 3 different layers and 3 different career options for you, right? I felt this is an important aspect, right? I didn't mention this in yesterday's session, right? I feel this is an important aspect for you to consider as we go about it, right? So keep the 3 aspects in mind, okay? And when you come to the project, you can discuss more, right? And accordingly take an informed decision, right? So that's something I wanted to tell you, right? And this is an introduction that I gave, right? So As we mentioned, we are offering this program in partnership with my company, Seaport AI. So we are an artificial intelligence company. So this program will have a lot of practical orientation. So I'm going to focus more on how do you apply, because that's more important. Once you understand that, everything else will fall into place. So the application element is very strong here. Okay. So what is AI? We covered that, right? For the benefit of those who have joined, it is a software that thinks and acts like human beings. It's a rapidly growing field, and the impact is already there. We are not talking of a futuristic technology, right? We are talking of a technology that is already there. Okay, that's impacting us. It's being used to detect diseases like heart disease and cancer proactively, not after a disease has happened. It's even used to detect fraud. Okay, that's one area, Seaport AI, we specialize a lot. Okay, how you can identify fraud from a set of transactions proactively, right? It's used in recommending, right kind of movies, right? You watch your movie in Netflix or Amazon Prime, the system suggests movies to you, right? That's based on recommendation system. What is behind recommendation system? It is AI. And you know that it is used extensively in the world of face detection and other associated areas. So AI is already there. It is used in multiple applications. And this is the history of artificial intelligence. In fact, I mentioned that it's been around for the last 70 years. Okay, starting with the Turing test, which is used to determine whether the AI solution is actually operating at the level of human beings. This test has not been beaten. So it's been around for a long time. And I also said, start thinking about what has happened in the recent past that is making everyone glued to AI, that is making everyone talk about AI, right? Because you see that it's been there from 50s. So you're going to uncover the answer as we go along, in this training program, because this program will help you to understand what is it that has happened in the recent past, especially the last few years, that everyone is talking about AI. Well, the technology has been around for a long time. See, this is an important aspect. It's important as AI practitioners, you understand what has happened. And the photo that you see here, this is like a robo that was developed in the 70s. This is the deep blue, where a computer actually beat a chess grandmaster sometime in the late 90s. Okay. So there are two aspects to artificial intelligence. One is called as a strong AI, the other is called as a weak AI, right? So computers thinking at the level of human beings, it's almost like human beings. That's known as strong AI. We are not there yet. Okay, it's in the realm of movies. Many of you would have seen movies, right? There are a lot of movies where it's being projected as if AI is already there at the level of human beings. It's not there. It's a realm of fiction. Where we are today is what is called as weak AI. Weak AI is actually an oxymoron, in the sense weak is not weak, weak is actually strong. Okay, even with the so-called weak AI, we are actually solving a lot of problems. How do we solve problems? By detecting useful patterns. And this is the dominant mode of AI today, right? I know a couple of you said you have attended the IoT class, right? How do you think IoT is related to AI? Can you please tell me? Can you tell me how IoT is related to AI?
Isn't it like we program the AI to do stuff? So like for that we need to know basic understanding of a coding language, something like that.
Yeah, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Anyone else? Anyone else? How is IoT related to AI? All of you know what is IoT? Just for the benefit of everyone. Any of you do not know what is IoT? Okay, nothing to worry. We will cover that in tomorrow's session. Okay, we'll understand, just briefly what is IoT, and I want to cover how is IoT related to AI, right? Because if you see, there are a lot of adjacent technologies, that are developing along with this AI, right? And many of them are converging. The world is, if you see in the world of technology, a lot of these technologies are converging. That's a key aspect. As AI practitioners, you must know this convergence. Okay, so we will cover either in the day after tomorrow session or in the Saturday session. Okay, briefly we will touch upon what is IoT. Okay, and how IoT is related to AI. Especially those who have attended the IoT course, start thinking. Right, you have attended, you are now attending AI. How are the two related? And more fundamentally, are they related? Right, because I asked doesn't mean that it has to be true, right? Because I encourage all of you to question me. Okay, I encourage all of you to question me, because it is through questions that we learn. Okay, always ask the question, why am I doing this? Why am I learning? Take a step back. It makes your learning actually quite deep. Okay, I want you to keep this perspective in mind. Okay, so questioning is an important aspect. Let's not miss that. Okay, so we saw that. From those who attended, can you tell me what is a pattern?
Pattern between IoT and AI?
No, I said what is a pattern?
Oh, so